Greetings, Keishlings. Keishlings here with another One Punch Man theory discussion video. I say both because we're going to cover both, but I'll have a link down below for the chapter in question. It is a revision to 103, so go read it just in case you haven't, and then come back here. But without further ado, we're talking about this revision because a big development for Amai Mask has occurred. We now kind of know why he's called Amai Mask. His face apparently is a mask, if not his whole body. We really don't know the full extent of this because it's just now first shown. And this kind of stems and plays along with the original version of 103, where there was a lot of speculation to, like, is Amai Mask, like, monsterfying behind the scenes or something that we're just not seeing? You know, because he's definitely more devious as the series goes on, and the original 103 showed it to its full extent when the Nariki squad was just totally wiped out by him, even though they could easily be saved as it was shown in the revision. So, yeah. But anyway, to kind of set the scene, Does is pinned to the wall, but then she, like, wraps her leg, showing that she's, like, very flexible and has, like, bending powers and stuff. And then she darts her tongue out, striking him in the eye. And then she's shocked, obviously, for what she sees, and it's because his face has cracked like a porcelain, you know, like a vase or something, you know, like you put a hole in it, and then from the hole, it starts to crack. Well, that's his face. And then later he heals it, so that's kind of outright confirming that this man is not just a human anymore. She even calls him a monster herself. So I'm thinking, what is that all, you know, leading to? And or how is this even possible? And, like, I have a few ideas here that might explain, at least in part, what caused this or whatever, because of the whole monsterfication process. You know, we more or less know how it works to at least a good enough degree to discuss it. So, yeah. Anyway, here's some of the ideas that I have. The first being a disguise layer. Basically, think of Gaara's armor of sand, which is his second line of defense for his, like, absolute defense that he's got. We saw it during the tuning exam for the first time against Rock Lee, who was able to bypass, like, the shield of sand that, you know, like, moves around and protects him. And then he was able to be fast enough and then got a solid hit, and it broke the face portion of Gaara's shield, or the armor. And so I was thinking maybe it's like a full body kind of thing, or a full body mask, as it were. But maybe it's, like, made out of an organic material, which might explain how he's able to heal it, you know? Like, maybe it's a hyped up healing factor that he's got, and it's extended to this mask as well. I don't know. The big question is, and I've seen, like, some explanations for it going around, is that Doest has, like, a moisture draining ability, which is when she struck him in the face, her tongue was able to absorb the moisture from his body, or at least that portion of his face, which then caused the cracking effect. But like I said, I'm not sure, you know, how the healing is necessarily explained, because it doesn't quite mesh up if he's, you know, it just cracked like that. But I'm not sure. Idea number 2 is the human shell. Basically, he makes, like, an organic, mostly hollow shell that looks like his former self, and then it covers what I theorize is, like, a much thinner body that is his true form. Like, his monsterfication has made him, like, maybe shrivel into a thinner humanoid-like monster. And obviously he's very vain, so he would hide his, you know, true appearance to the world because, you know, fear of being bombasted with questions to, like, why he became this. It's like his fans maybe turning their back because he's ugly, maybe something like that. And like, the true body and the shell are actually, like, linked in some way, which then allows it to emote and move mirroring the body inside. And then that allows him to keep up his image and appearance, because like I said, he's a celebrity, so, he'd want to keep that, under wraps and keep everything going the way and nobody being none the wiser. So yeah, that might explain that. Also, that would explain why he didn't feel pain when he did this, because, and I didn't mention this in the disguise layer, is that, when we see the hole, it's just like, you don't see anything through the hole. So I'm kind of discounting that first idea, because like if it's right there on his layer of skin, the shielding, that it would have hit his true body, and then he should have felt pain. But I don't know. And then this one, the human shell idea, kind of like gives a little more room for that. It's just a furthered out defensive shell. And like maybe it didn't go all the way to his, thinner body, as I theorize. But wouldn't quite explain the healing ability either, unless, again, it's because it's organic and his healing factor is hyped up or something. I don't know. The third idea is the stupidest idea, but I thought, let's just go with it, shall we? And that is cosmetics, or a cosmetics monster. Okay, as we know how monsterfication kind of works, is that a person becomes obsessed or overindulges to the point where they become affiliated, like they gain the traits of that, like Crablante. He ate a bunch of crab, and then he became part crab. He's like a humanoid crab monster. So the concept is obviously there. So I was thinking, like to feed his vanity and like his, TV and movies and stage appearances, he like puts on a bunch of makeup. Well, what if over the years he's applied more and more makeup, because like, say women, for instance, as they age, they tend to use more makeup. Well, what if he's aging poorly and he has to cover up all that, aging effects of time, and he's like applying more and more makeup over the years, and then it's become so obsessive with him that the makeup has become one with his body, and then he's become more malleable because of it, giving him like a degree of shape-shifting, which then would allow him to like change and even heal his body. So that's just an idea there. Then next is actually inspired by a discussion / argument I had with Grim Reaper on his server, because he was under the misunderstanding that I kept, like, that when I was trying to explain, like, say, the human shell idea or the disguise layer idea, he kept thinking I was referring to like a lizard or a snake when it sheds its skin because it's getting bigger. So this idea is called Lizard Man. Now, be it this one it has some complications, obviously, being that, while it could be fun, this would have to be done more long term than anything else, because if we take like skin shedding as an ability that he has, that does not account for the healing that he does, because they don't heal from wounds by shedding their skin. So that doesn't work. Now, unless he, like, in his early stages of monsterfication, maybe he could, like, heal, like this outer shell that he's able to maintain from his, previously human form to keep up his appearances. And then he's, like, getting more and more scaly as time goes on, and he wants to keep that from the public, of course. But like I said, that could be problematic and, doesn't explain everything. But if this goes long term, like I mentioned, maybe as he monstrifies into like a lizard monster of some sort, like eventually he won't be able to maintain that outer layer anymore, because, like he'll grow a tail or something, and then that can't be hidden. Not really. So he won't be able to maintain that human appearance forever. And then, like, his secret's going to get known to the world. His fans are going to be made aware of this almost immediately. So this could be like a little arc for him, like maybe play in the background. So that could be its own thing. And finally, we have the most plausible idea, which is kind of similar to the cosmetic monster, but done in a different way. Has many of the same themes and capabilities, which is mud body. As a vain actor, singer, he probably goes to spas quite regularly on his quest of maintaining, like youthful skin and body. Like people go to mud baths and like their mineral baths and everything so that they can maintain like, the retention of skin and stuff so it snaps back and things like that. And just kind of keep it of blemishes and everything, keep that all away. So, in his overindulgence of this, just like I mentioned before, is like Monsterfication, you overindulge, you become obsessed with something. He's obsessed with his appearance. He's overindulging in these hypothetical, mud baths. So then he starts to become one with the mud. Which then, he's now a mud monster in this scenario. And then through the Monsterfication process, he essentially becomes Clayface from Batman, who can shapeshift like into human forms, and even his outer appearance mimics like clothing and the color of skin of people he's turned into. So he can mimic people right down to everything. I think even their voice, but I'm not sure. So, and if that's the case, that would actually benefit his career choices, because like when he's going for a movie role, like people are like, Mr. Mask, we got to get you on stage, man. It's like this movie's got a deadline. He's like, all right, I'm changing my clothes now, and he has like his wardrobe over there, and they're like, okay, sir, 2 minutes, please, and it's like he just morphs his body to look like the costume they want him to wear. Or he wears, if they want him to wear a different hairstyle or a wig or something, he could just morph his head and hair to mimic what they want him to look like. And he would be even more flawless because it's natural. So yeah, that could help in like quick changes in between sets of like a concert where people like change outfits for each song, that kind of thing. He could do that at a moment's notice. And but yeah, this best explains like the lack of pain, because like his body is so malleable, he like maybe lessens the damage, and he has like a high threshold of pain, and like that also explains the healing that he's shown to be able to do, because he would just be able to mold it back into place. And if Does's moisture absorbing concept is actually true, then that would explain why he cracked, because when mud gets dry, it becomes it's not malleable anymore, and it'll over certain stresses would eventually break. So that explains that, and that about explains the whole concept. But yeah sorry if this was kind of a bit of a rambly theory or whatever, just some ideas I wanted to get out there. I want to see what Amai Mask does in the future. Now that we kind of know that, yeah, he's basically a monster confirmed at this point. Now we don't know how far it'll go, but whatever. That'll probably play out in the manga and whatnot. So yeah. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. Anything you have to add, please let me know. Check out all my other content, see what you like, suggest things for the future. Links down below for all of my social medias and the chapter, as I mentioned before. I stream on Twitch where I do gaming and stuff, and I'll tweet it out when I go live. I'm part of the One Punch Man podcast on Grim Reaper's channel, so go check that out. Check out his content. And yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, Quiche-lings, what's under the mask?